Hey YouTube, it's Sean Sundahl. Welcome back everybody. I know it's been a while since I posted another video. You guys have been trying very hard to finish my private security management and leadership course. Whenever I work towards this course, I tend to forget about the other videos that I'm supposed to be making on YouTube. I will try to post more regularly when I'm finished. I'm very focused right now. The other day I was watching the Commander Hall video on a video that he made where he did not get paid by somebody that he worked for. And you gotta admit that Commander Hall he's not a dumb guy. The guy knows what he's talking about. He runs his own business. So this is not a video that's in response to a question that he asked. He already has his solutions on things, but what he does is he opens the doors to discussion for our videos. And by the way, I'm gonna leave a link in the description to the Commander Hall video. So this video is not in response to his video. I'm piggybacking on an issue that's in the private security sector. So in private security, it's actually quite common for private security firms not to pay you when they're supposed to pay you. And I often see this at if you work cash events like a club or a bar. Not all of them are cash events, but some of them are. And those of you who are in the Riverside area who know about the Coachella Fest, okay, there's a lot of vendors, a significant amount of private security, contract security guard company vendors who do not pay their guards on time. And this is the sorry excuse that I hear all the time is, well, our vendors or the people that we contracted to protect, they did not pay us on time, therefore we cannot pay you on time. That is a lame excuse, you guys. If you are a private security employer and your employers are W-2 employees, meaning that you hand them a W-4 form and at the end of the year they get back a W-2 form, okay, they're a W-2 employee, you have to pay them per an FLSA work week. And that stands for the Federal Labor Standards Act work week. There's designated pay days. You have to pay your employees within that time frame. You guys, slavery is over. If you have somebody that works for you and you don't pay them, okay, that's a form of slavery. I'll say it again. Somebody does work for you, you don't pay them, that is a form of slavery. Now, there's another issue here, and that's a form of theft. See, theft is theft of a product, of an item, merchandise, and also service. You can steal services from somebody. So somebody does some type of service for you, you don't pay them, you have the intention of not paying for the service. In the get-go, okay, especially in California, if that amount that you owe this person exceeds $950, that is grand theft. That's a felony. Now, if you go into a police station and report this, it really depends, number one, on the facts of the case, and number two, on the watch commander of that time. That watch commander of that jurisdiction where you want to make this police report, if they feel based on the facts, based on the penal code or whatever, or criminal codes if you're not in California, they feel like it doesn't apply to your current situation. They may call this a civil matter. Okay, so they may not take a report at all. They may refer you to civil court. And that's what's gonna probably end up happening most of the time. But in my opinion, if you have the whole intent of not paying this person and they perform service for you, that is a form of theft. So what can you do about this? My disclaimer every video is, you guys already know I'm not an attorney. This is not legal advice. This is not professional advice. This is just some information that I'm giving to you that hopefully you will bring this information to a licensed attorney who is familiar with the law and with your specific facts. So this is something that I would consider. So if I don't get paid on time, I'm going to tell them, hey, No, it doesn't work that way. You're not going to pay me when the client pays. You're going to pay me now. You're going to pay me on payday according to federal law, FLSA. You're going to pay me. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You're going to pay me on this day. Now look, if you choose to wait another week, that's up to you. But they better pay you interest, and I'm talking about legal interest. In California, an FLSA violation, the fines for that, I'm not really sure what they are. I'm not sure what the interest is, but I think 10% is reasonable interest. So you tell this person, okay, you're going to pay me later. That's cool. That's fine. But I want 10% interest on my paycheck. Now, you got to keep in mind that when you do that, this can be viewed in the legal realm as you settling your case. And I don't think, as somebody that's not an attorney, I don't think that's necessarily a bad idea that you're getting some type of interest with it. But they better give you that interest. If not, the legal fees might end up being more. And remember, the legal fees for you to fight this case for the $1,000, $4,000 that they owe you, legal fees might actually exceed what you're expecting to pay, unless an attorney accepts your case on a contingency basis. You guys, if it goes to court, I mean, for a $1,000 paycheck, $4,000 paycheck, your legal fees might end up being more. Another way that you could handle this is get a hold of your labor department, okay? You get a hold of the Federal Labor Commission and file a claim. When they end up filing a claim, that's going to bring a whole lot of disruption into that workplace. Okay, and this employer might need some disruption just to wake up. These are just some options. Now, another option is this. Hey, you know what? You don't want to pay me? Okay. So the question is, did you have control over my final work product? Because if you did, depending on the state, you might have to end up paying Medicare taxes, Social Security taxes, and you might end up having to have a workers' compensation policy as well. Okay? So the employer at that point is going to say, wait a minute, I didn't hire this person as an employee. I hired this person as a contractor. Therefore, I am not obligated to pay Social Security tax, Medicare tax, and any workers' comp insurance on this person. And that's why it's really important. When you get hired for these underground assignments, many times they'll hire you as contractors. Now, in California, they cannot hire you as a contractor in private security unless you have a private patrol operator license. Other states, I'm sure they operate very similar. Please let me know in the comment box below if there is some type of distinction. If you're allowed to hire a private security officer as a contractor without them having some type of private security agency license. And I think in most states, in order to do that, the private security guard has to have that sort of a license. Armed with this knowledge, what do you do if this person wants to keep being the asshole and not paying you? Well, first off, I'm going to walk into the Social Security office, okay, and demand, well, I'm going to ask for a statement. Okay, I'll ask for a statement. And I'm also going to file a complaint. And that complaint is going to be, well, my employer didn't file for Social Security, or my employer didn't pay their share of Social Security tax and Medicare tax, and I did not get to do the same thing. Well, Social Security is going to ask the employer, well, hey, you're supposed to pay the Social Security tax, okay, the employer's share, and how come you didn't let the employee pay their share? What I'm getting at is this is going to be a legal nightmare, a headache, okay? They're obligated by federal law to pay Social Security and Medicare tax. Now, when they're not paying you, okay, there's a good chance that they're not paying those taxes as well, okay? Guys, I've seen employees 2 years later or several years later file these claims with Social Security and with the State Labor Commission. and state that they were not a contractor but an employee. And this employer gets penalized. In California, if you have a business and you're hiring an employee and you don't have workers' comp insurance, that's a misdemeanor and a minimum of $10,000 per fine for each violation, up to $10,000 fine. It's going to stick this employer pretty hard in the back. Now, I'm not out there trying to give employees advice to stick their employers in the back. I am just encouraging you, if you are an employer, to pay your employees on time. In my private security management leadership course, I show you that if you want a successful private security company, you should have at least 1 month of salary for an employee, just in case a vendor does not pay you on time. You should have that money on standby. We go over that in that course, and hopefully you're doing that. And you're not depending on one paycheck from one contract to come in to pay your employees. You have a reserve amount. Almost forgot. So, if you are a contractor and you're not paid on time, you're going to have less recourse with the Labor Commission than if somebody was an employee. So you got to be really careful, because when you're a contractor, the payment considerations are made through a contract, usually a written agreement. So can somebody pay you outside of FLSA pay date? If you're a contractor, my opinion on that, my non-attorney opinion, is that they don't have to follow the FLSA. They have to follow the contract. In the absence of a contract, you're going to have a huge issue if you don't have a contract. Before we end this discussion, true story. So I was working a workers' compensation case as a subcontractor for a very popular private security firm out there. They wanted me to work a project where they didn't have that manpower out there. They didn't have any resources. So I accepted the project, right? So every day I was in constant communication with them. I would call them up. I would email them, text them if I needed some investigative resource, maybe a license plate check, whatnot. You guys, they responded within 15 minutes, 30 minutes, within an hour. They answered right away. Very professional. Close the case, send over the report, and then I sent in the invoice. And no response. Hey, you're gonna get paid on time. Nothing, you guys. I called them, they wouldn't answer. They did not have the same response level as if when I was working the case at that point of time. Month passed, 2 months passed, nothing, you guys. Guys, the owner of this company was the vice president for a well-known fraud association. Okay, I'm not even kidding, you guys. This guy is well-known in the private investigation community. And before I took on the assignments, I looked up this company, and hey, this guy is a successful entrepreneur, and he's in charge of a fraud association, right? Well, it doesn't matter this person's standing, you guys. There's some sketchy businesses out there, even that are well known in the community, of being in charge of fraud associations. Maybe that should have been a warning sign. He was in charge of a local fraud association. It doesn't matter who they are, you guys. What I recommend is that at least ask for 50% up front. If you're an entrepreneur, you've got a security company, ask for 50% up front. That way, if they default, you're at least 50% there. And also, so if you ask for 50%, this is kind of mutual, because the company who may not have operated with you in the past, they're taking a gamble, right? You might not even perform the services that you promised, but at least they're not going to lose 100% of their money. And it's mutually beneficial for both of you. Okay? Anyhow, let me know what you guys think about this video. Comments, questions, concerns. If you want a video on something else, please ask. I am working on creating some other videos for other subscribers out there. You guys, please press the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and be safe. Thank you.